Hello, my name is Nikki here in the beautiful nature of Bali. I'm so excited to share with you today a beginner sequence that will help improve flexibility and strength. You'll also learn some basic yoga poses. All you need is a mat or a towel, and if you want some water, you can have that close by as well. I'm so excited to get started. We will start in a wide-legged child's pose. So your knees will come to the width of your mat and you can sit back on your heels. Arms can come out in front of you, sinking into the stretch, starting to inhale and exhale deeply, focusing on your breath, clearing your mind. We'll bring our hands to the right side. Left hand can come on top of the right. You can push some of your weight into your left hip to get an even bigger stretch here. Feeling this in your left side body. And we'll come through the center over to the left side. Right hand can come on top of the left. Perhaps you put weight in your right hip to expand the stretch. And when you're ready, we'll come back to center, taking a moment here, setting an intention for what brought you to your mat today. And we'll come up to tabletop, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your glutes, pressing your hands into the mat. We'll inhale, belly drops down as your gaze comes up for cow pose. Exhale, spine raises to the sky, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Warming up our spine here, going at your own breath. We'll take a few more cycles, seeing how your body feels. And then we can start to take some organic movements with our body, moving our hips clockwise all the way around in a circle, seeing how your hips feel. Maybe there are some sticky spots that you want to spend a little extra time in. That's okay. Just be aware of how your body is today. And then we can start to go counterclockwise. See how your body feels when you go this way. And come back to a neutral tabletop. Inhale, right hand goes long, left leg goes back. Exhale, crunch your knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch and bring it in. Inhale, lengthen and hold. Our right hand can plant back into the mat. Left leg comes down as our toes plant into the mat, getting a nice calf stretch. Our gaze can come over our left shoulder towards our left toes. And then we can bring our left leg back to neutral tabletop and inhale our left arm long, right leg back. Exhale, crunch it in. Gauge our core as we lengthen. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, lengthen one more time. Reach as far as you can. Exhale, plant your hand as your right foot comes down to the mat, getting a nice calf stretch here. Gaze coming over your right shoulder to look at your right toes. And then back to a neutral tabletop. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Exhale, thread it through. Right shoulder and right cheek come to the mat, and your left hand can come up and over, binding behind your back if this is comfortable for you. If not, you're more than welcome to tent your fingertips and bring your left hand out in front of you towards the top of the mat. See how this feels for your shoulder. See how you feel on this side. And then bring your left hand back to neutral tabletop as we inhale our right hand to the sky, planting it back down. Inhale, left hand to the sky, exhaling, threading it through all the way down to the mat as our left cheek and left shoulder also come down to the mat. Right hand can bind behind our back if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can bring it forward, tent your fingertips at the top of the mat, and see how this feels for your shoulder here. Becoming aware of how this side feels compared to the other side, yet not having any judgment, just noticing, coming back to your breath. And we'll plant our right hand, left hand comes to the sky, back to our neutral tabletop, planting our toes into the mat and raising our knees 2 inches off of the ground, engaging our core here. And then push back into downward facing dog, first one of class. Take what you need here. Maybe you pedal out your legs, doing what feels good for your body. Distribute the weight in your hands evenly by spreading your fingers as wide as they can go and pushing your thighs to the back of the room. Take another round of breath here. And then look to the top of the mat and slowly walk your way there, little by little. And we'll hang here in a forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows, bending your knees as little or as much as you'd like. Maybe you gently sway, embracing this nice stretch. It's okay how far down you can go. No need to touch the ground. Take yourself how you are in this moment. Come back to your intention. Bring it to the forefront of your mind. And we'll come back to halfway lift, straightening our spine, then planting down to forward fold. On our inhale, we'll swing our hands to the sky. And exhale, mini back bend as you cactus and bend your arms back. Inhale, bring your arms back up and then down to heart center. Finally, bring your hands by your sides as we come into standing mountain pose. Big toes to touch, internally rotating your thighs and releasing your glutes. Take a moment here. Spread your fingers wide. And then inhale, our arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. We'll do the modification first. Instead of coming all the way to the ground. And then a baby back bend for cobra. Perhaps your hands come off the ground and your tops of your feet press into the mat. And then we can put our hands back down, press into the mat to come back to downward facing dog. Staying here for a few rounds of breath, putting the weight in your fingertips as you're trying to move the mat forward, and putting the weight in your thighs as if you're trying to move the mat back in the opposite direction. breathe here. Look to the top of the mat, step or jump there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands forward, fold. Inhale, bring everything up. Exhale, come back to our standing mountain pose, hands by your side. This time we will do chaturanga and upward facing dog, but if you want to stick to the modification like we did in the first round, please do. It's always there for you. We'll inhale, our arms come up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. Elbows come down halfway, close to your rib cage. And then we'll come up to upward facing dog by pressing our chest forward and planting the tops of our feet into the mat, keeping our thighs slightly lifted off the ground. On your next exhale, come to downward facing dog, getting the stretch here, warming up our bodies, checking in with yourself, seeing how you feel. On your next inhale, step or walk to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold as far as you can go. Inhale, everything up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. And we'll do one more round of our sun salutation. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to chaturanga or come all the way down to the mat, whatever works for you. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Again, another round of breath here, seeing how we feel in our downward dog this time. Now that we're warmed up, and we'll inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands as far as they can go. Inhale, bring everything up. Exhale, come down to chair pose. As you bend your knees, engage your core and tuck your tailbone under so it isn't jutting out. And put your weight in your left foot, and we'll step back with our right. Right foot comes to a 45-degree angle so we can come into warrior one. Arms come to the sky, keeping our shoulders down. And if you want, you can clasp your hands behind your back and come into humble warrior as you bring yourself down inside your left leg. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can unclasp your hands. Take in the stretch. Come back to warrior one. And we'll exhale everything down to the ground. Taking a nice little rinse here. So come into chaturanga or down to the ground. Inhale, cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step, hop, or walk forward to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring everything up. Exhale, back to chair pose, putting your weight into your right foot. Step back with our left foot. Warrior one on this side, 45-degree angle with your back foot all the way to the ground there. Internally rotating your left thigh. Arms come up. making sure your shoulders aren't by your ears. And then we can clasp our hands behind our back, humble our warrior, bring ourselves inside the right leg. Again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can unclasp your hands, doing what you can without any judgment, meeting yourself where you're at today. This is your practice and yours only. We'll come back to Warrior One, and we'll flush this out by exhaling everything down, stepping back to Chaturanga or come down to the ground. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a few rounds of breath, then pretend like you're pushing the ground in two different directions. Your hands pushing to the front of the room while your thighs engage backwards. We're going to add on to our sequence here. So inhale, your right leg comes up and back to the sky. Exhale, bring it through. We'll come up to Warrior One, getting our stance, and then clasping our hands behind our back. Humble our warrior as far down as you can go. Then we'll come back up to Warrior One, turning out on our exhale to Warrior Two. Pretend like you're sandwiched in between two walls, so your glutes are under your hips, not jutting outwards, and your right knee is over your right ankle. We can reverse our warrior by bringing our right hand up and over. Left hand can reach wherever it can. Maybe it's your thigh, maybe it's your calf. We'll spiral everything down, coming back to our rinse, Chaturanga, or come down to the ground, upward dog or cobra, and then back to our downward facing dog. We'll do this again on the other side. So inhale, left leg goes long. Exhale, step it through, Warrior One. Getting our stance here nice and strong. And then we can clasp our hands behind our backs if this is comfortable for you. And humble our warrior. Getting a nice stretch. Again, doing what you can and modifying as you need. And we'll come back to Warrior One. And then we will spin into Warrior Two, having that heel to arch alignment so your back leg opens up to the 90-degree angle. Then we'll bring it back, reversing our warrior. Gaze can come up to your hand, right hand reaching for whatever you can grab. Again, maybe it's your thigh or your calf. And then we can exhale, windmilling our arms down, rinsing it out, coming into Chaturanga, or all the way down to the ground, upward facing dog or cobra, and then back again to our lovely downward facing dog. If you need to take a child's pose here, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll inhale our right foot back and step it through. Inhale, Warrior One. Exhale, we will humble our warrior as we clasp our hands behind our back. We've been here before, so see how it feels this time. And then we'll come back to Warrior One. Exhaling to Warrior Two. And then on our next inhale, we'll come back to our reversed warrior. finally, we will reach our peak pose. So we'll come down to extended side angle. Our right hand comes on the outside of our right leg, and our left hand comes up and over, internally rotating your hand so your gaze can look at your palm if you can. If you can't reach the floor, feel free to prop your right elbow onto your right thigh and do what you can here. Really embracing this pose and thanking yourself for your hard work to get here. And we can rinse it out to do our final side before the cool down. So we'll come to chaturanga, or down to the ground, upward facing dog or cobra, and then back to downward facing dog or child's pose if you need. Feel free to stay in child's pose if you'd like. Otherwise, join me on our left side as we inhale our left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Warrior one. And we'll clasp our hands behind our back, humbling our warrior. This is the last time we're here, so really embracing this pose. And then we can raise ourselves back up to warrior one on your next exhale. We'll spin out to warrior two. Gaze comes out at your middle finger. Then we can reverse our warrior. Feel this nice side stretch. And finally, we'll come down to extended side angle. Our left hand comes on the outside of our left foot, and our left knee presses against our arm as our right hand comes up and over. Gaze can look up at our hand, and if you need, you can bend your left arm and rest your left elbow on your left thigh for extra support. And we'll bring our right hand down to rinse it out. Come to the ground or chaturanga, then to upward facing dog or cobra, and back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Amazing job getting through this sequence. We'll walk our feet forward to the top of the mat. Plant your feet at a 45-degree angle, little wider than hip distance, and come down to a low yogi squat. You can push your elbows out to your knees to get more of a stretch here. Then we'll roll back, sitting on our glutes, straightening out our legs, inhaling our arms up high, and then exhale, fold over from our hips, seated forward fold, grabbing what you can. Maybe it's your feet, maybe it's your legs. Whatever you can do today is enough. Just being thankful you're here on your mat. Come back to your intention. Inhale and exhale. Sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. On your next inhale, we'll come on up. Bring our right leg over as our left foot comes to meet your left glute. And then twist your left hand over your right knee, getting a nice twist in your back here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink a bit deeper into this pose, keeping your spine straight. And inhale everything up. Exhale, switch it out. Left leg comes over right, and then our right arm comes over our left knee for a nice twist on this side. Keep your spine straight. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Feel the stretch. And we'll come back to center And we'll roll down to our backs, bringing our right knee into our chest, rocking it side to side, giving our ascending colon a little bit of love. And then bringing it over to the left side, getting a nice hip stretch here, keeping both shoulders on the ground. And then looking toward your right fingertips if you're able. Coming back and bringing your right knee in, switching it out, left knee hugs in, giving a little bit of love to our descending colon, and then bringing it over to the right side. Both shoulders on the ground, and gaze can come to the left hand if you're able. Embracing the stretch, and when you're ready, you can bring your left leg back. And then bring both knees in. You can rock side to side, giving your lower back a little massage. And then we can lift our legs to the sky to come into legs up a wall, reversing the blood flow in our body. And then you can grab the outsides of your feet, coming into happy baby. Maybe you straighten one leg and then the other, taking what you need. And then we'll bring our legs back up and slowly roll them down. Take a good morning stretch. Arms come up above your head, thanking yourself for this practice. And then bring your arms back down to rest by your sides in Shavasana, our final pose. Relax everything here, your jaw, your eyebrows, your arms, your hands, your thighs, and come back to your breathing. When you're ready, you can wiggle your toes and your fingers. Come back to this space. You can bring your arms overhead for a good morning stretch. And then using your bicep as a pillow, you can roll to your favorite side, coming into fetal position. And when you're ready and renewed, you can come up to a comfortable seat, hands to heart center. We will inhale our arms up, exhale back to heart center. We will chant one final Om together to end our practice. We'll inhale to prepare. Om. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me and letting me guide you. It's been a true honor. The light and love in me sees and honors the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste.